Plato writes about the New Republic. He says that to create a new society, we have to do it a new way. We would have to have a just, or a fair, just equals fair, balanced scale approach to everything we do, from the way we sing to the way we operate with each other, the way we respect each other. So my idea here is to partner with as many people as I can to take each idea and add balance to that idea. So if we create a massage parlor, we want a fair massage parlor. We don't want something you think may be a dirty type of massage parlor. We want it to be a certain type, a certain brand. So what I'm trying to create is balance through business, right? So one of the best ways that I can affect social change and create income for people is to actually partner with them and create income with them. So what I'm trying to become, and what Joint Ventures Unlimited is called a social enterprise. A social enterprise is different than a normal company. A social enterprise, our whole point is to bring people from a very low state to a higher state of being, right? I'm trying to create the companies where you could come to me at 18 years old, well, I have Just Electronics. Do you need a cell phone? Here you go. Do you need a trainer? I own a gym. Not a problem. I can give you these opportunities because it costs me nothing. It literally costs me nothing. And to you, that could mean everything. That could be the one opportunity that you needed, the one little slingshot or opportunity boost that you needed to get there. And I desperately wish at your age that I had somebody come in and say, I will do this for you. I will teach you. Nobody said that to me. Nobody looked at me and said, I will help you and partner with you and be your older mentor. So over 5 years, I currently work at STAG with John Elliott, the city councilor, and I'm going to create boot camps all over the city and buildings that are Joint Ventures Unlimited social enterprises where you'll walk in and we have employment opportunities and we have business opportunities and there's great products that can change your life. Because as simple as getting a product that can help you sleep when you're an insomniac, boom, change your life. You found a protein product and you're hungry all the time, so you reach for sugar, so you became obese. Well, if I shift you to eating this instead, I change your life. So really, I can't go and change your life, but if you make a decision to buy these products, that's a step. And if you make a decision to come to my boot camp, that's a big amount of positive people that you can be around and you can add to that group. So what I'm trying to do, Sadiq, in that long drawn out answer, is really create a system of opportunity that is not currently out there for you. You can't really go to anybody and they care that way. Government funding and government agencies become very hard to deal with grants, and banks are not easy to get a loan from, but it is easy to have a partnership that costs us nothing. It would cost us 100, there's no material involved, because in your type of business, somebody comes and they pay you first. So all that means is if I help you get your first customer, they pay us first, that's your first money you made for yourself. I could do that very easily. The fact that you can't means that I have a responsibility to you to help you do that. I came from this school where I got kicked out for fighting. I fought because I used to always fight the bullies. I never fought weak people. I didn't go around bullying people, but when other people thought it was okay to bully, I had a problem with it. So because of that, I suffered consequences. And instead, I can come in here and say, listen, that's not a good way to deal with your problems. Violence is definitely not an answer. You can use business to solve problems. You can use money to solve problems, right? You can use a space to solve problems. If somebody needs a space and I can provide it for them, I just did a service to my community.
Excuse me, Mrs. Thomas?
Yes,
Do you have presenters here today?
I do.
Is one of them named Justice?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. I have someone down here who is supposed to be with him today. Can you send someone down to pick her up?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Same
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody has a direct question for me, so ask me any kind of direct question you have, personal question,
Yeah,
your own
let's go
business
here.
development question. If you have a question, what is it? If you don't, why don't you have a question? Why don't you have a question is a question you should be asking yourself right now. If I don't have a question to ask this presenter who has answers for my business, what am I doing? I'm looking around at a bunch of empty stares instead of hands up asking a question.
They're usually pretty talkative. I don't know what's going on. I have a question if they don't though.
Shoot.
So say it's great to see an example of an ethical business that seems to care about the world and you mentioned social justice and everything. Do you find that that's more the exception or the norm when you're dealing with other businesses?
Fortunately, I'll say a positive statement instead of what I could say.
Okay.
I could have said that statement, and here's about flipping your filter and flipping your language, right? I could have said, you know what, honestly, most people don't think like me. It's definitely outside the norm what I'm suggesting. However, the idea of justice and the idea of social justice goes back to Plato, who was really the first philosopher speaking about why we did cities. Aristotle said the reason we create cities is for justice, not for mutual dependence, because we become beasts in the wild and we are completely self-sufficient, right? So there's no reason for becoming communities except for the idea of justice. So for me, maybe this specific idea is new, but the idea of philanthropy as part of your business, or what I just suggested, people, planet, profit, it's called the triple bottom line. I didn't coin that term. That's something that's being thrown around by other ethical companies. So what's happening is you have, I call it the justice virus. What I learned in business, if there's an ice cream shop across the street, and that's not doing very good business, and I open up across the street and I do just ice cream store and I do it better than him and I can push him out, well, that just eliminated the non-ethical business without doing anything unethical. I used exactly what I was supposed to use, the business system, to win. I'm not doing anything wrong. So now, that's a new way of thinking, but there is people out there thinking that. If you listen to Russell Brand, the revolution that he's speaking of, our lovution, basically he says, that love will change the world. If you listen to Joe Rogan podcast, that we have to become local economies and we have to grow our own food. It's a big business now, people that are seeing that we have to change the way we live. Not just the way we do business, but the way we live entirely, the way we breathe, the way we respect each other, the way we look at each other, the way we give each other energy. You're supposed to go out of your house and give energy to everybody around you instead of take it or break it around you. You're not supposed to take or break, you're supposed to give and share. But that's a new philosophy that is not new, because everybody said it. Bruce Lee, John Lennon, Martin Luther King, we can keep going, and those are my mentors, right? If you don't have 5 people around you that you think are very intelligent, cool, you know what you do? Go to YouTube. Go watch everything from Martin Luther King, everything from John Lennon, everything from Bruce Lee. By the time you're done, you're going to have some new thoughts. You go watch Russell Brand, go watch Joe Rogan. These are people that can teach you these new ways of thinking, right? So I'm happy to say that I think the world is changing. And I think especially your age group needs to understand that you are not, and this was not told to me when I was in your age group. I was not told the world was changing. They told me to go to the OYAP program and I was going to be a tool and die maker forever, and that was the best idea. That's what Herman was saying at the time. Well, that wasn't the best idea. I should have studied solar panels better, created a green energy company, did it 10 years ago, and already had it going and booming by now. But now I have to wait, get a partner, Just Energy will happen soon enough, wait for your Facebook feed to see it. Right? It'll be there. So it's really about that. These kids right here in this room have to, if you create a business, understand that it has to be connected to your community, to the people that are going to support you. Because to do a business, you have to have customers. To have customers, you have to have respect and loyalty. And that happens by you being a good and active member in your community first. And then it becomes very easy to do that. Right. Any other questions from you guys?
I have an idea for a business that would build life-size.
Confidently, take a second, breathe. Confidently retell me that idea. I want to hear it. Tell it to me confidently.
So I had an idea that would build life-size wooden tanks.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, if I was going to do that, how would you help me with that?
Okay, so we remember to asking about this type of business. Before Plato, there was a guy named Socrates. Okay. Now, Socrates taught 2 people very importantly. He taught Alexander the Great, who conquered everything he could see by 25 years old. And by walking, by the way, with the sword. There wasn't even tanks. So he conquered all of it, Alexander the Great and Plato. Now, Socrates did something called the Socratic questioning method. You know what that is? That means to say this is also to say this, if this is also true. It means that you're talking in a paradox on both sides of your problems. Okay, so we're going to talk about tanks, and this is what I would do. This is the conversation we'd have. So let's talk about tanks. We're going to make wooden tanks. For what purpose would we make the wooden tanks? Are they going to be sold as displays for World War II replicas?
Yeah.
Cool, good idea. Why? People they need to know history. They are excited about history, and it's a way that we preserve ideas. So to think about what happened in Nazi Germany is a very good idea for people to think, so never again, right? So we could put Flanders poppies to be able to paint job of these tanks. What I would tell you is, okay, how are we going to paint these? Are they going to be World War II? Is it going to say in Flanders Fields, never again on the side of it? Cool, we could do that. Now, if we did that, who would our market be?
Possibly museums, or also people who are interested in World War II
we went, you have a Facebook account? If we went online, could we find, if we just searched in the Facebook toolbar, World War II groups, historian groups, museum groups, we could find that, right? We could join those groups. In those groups, before we made a tank, we could post, would anybody be interested in buying a custom-made wooden tank for display purposes to enhance the history of your area? No, 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 no responses, no responses. Well, we keep doing that every single day. We do that same message. Oh, this is business, by the way. Every day you wake up, you fail a bunch of times. So we keep failing at those posts until we fail forward. Somebody said yes. How much is that tank worth? Think about that. We're talking about a life-size tank. It's going to be 3 to 4 weeks of work. It's going to be have to polish. There's got to be some high-end paint on this. We're looking at using good lumber. It's got to last a long time. That should be treated. We should probably hire a carpenter because neither one of us are. We should probably get a painter because neither one of us are a pro painter. So what we need to do then is call the painter, call the carpenter, get them to estimate the job, maybe get an engineer to design it, right? And those people are going to become our production line. So what's going to happen now in our business is we're going to have the order. We're going to call our 3 people who make it for us. You and I didn't even saw any wood. At the end of it, there's a tank. We paid them probably 20% of the, say, $10,000 we got to make this tank. We probably have to pay them $2,000 or $3,000 to make our tank for us. We just pocketed $7,000. What did we do? Post on Facebook. That's our entire business, is posting on Facebook until you get a buyer. Tier design, you post on Facebook until you get a buyer. And at that point, you do the job. To do something, to spend money, and then to try and sell it is a reverse thing of how business works. Supply, demand. I go find the demand for something. With Joint Ventures Unlimited, I find the demand. Somebody needs phones. Cool. Who sells phones? Call that guy. Can I get 10% on the sale? Yeah, great. Cool, I'll have a sale for you. I sell the 10 iPhones from this guy to this guy. I made my 10%. Now I have a phone selling business. You see how simple that is? So the just idea is to simplify the way business is thought about. You don't need a $20,000. You're not going to need a business plan for that. You need a business plan for yourself, an action plan, but you really don't need an investment there. All you need is a client. Just Nutrition started off one client. My new friend Mark Bosquero, who owns the Willisted and Chinoso's and South Detroit and all these restaurants, he said the demand came because I was his trainer, and he said it would be great if I had good food made for me all the time. And so my girlfriend's a chef, and I'm really good at designing meals. Would you be interested in buying them? That was the conversation we had in the morning while we were writing. He said, yeah, Justin, well, how much would that be? And off the top of my head, I just thought a quick number. Said, could I do, okay, I think I can do it for this. I said, I think I can do it for this. We're going to have to try out a week to see how that works. We tried it a week. We adjusted the price. It didn't quite work out. And we got him to where he's happy with his service. Now he continuously pays me for that. So a new Just Nutrition business happened after somebody asked me for the food. Any other questions? That's a specific question that's probably a good answer for you. You can take that information and run with it. You can go post tonight and see if that happened. You get an order you don't know how to deal with, give me a call. We'll figure it out. Put me in coach. Any other questions? Okay. You have my card. If you want to ask me any questions, you give me a call. It's easy to get me on Facebook, give me a message, right? Make friends with who you need to make friends with. Make sure you open up lines of communication with people that you're going to need help with. Find out your experts. You don't even need experts for your business. You just need a client. You need a client, and you need somebody to help you build it. That's it. You may even have somebody finance the order. Once you get a purchase order, let's say somebody needed a $10,000 tank, and you had a purchase order agreement that you signed with them, saying I'm going to purchase this, but you don't get the money right away, somebody else would finance that for you if you brought them the purchase order. But it's always about a customer or sale first, right? All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with that today. If you need anything, give me a call. I hope you learned something. I hope that helped you.